Hi guys, welcome back to another yoga tutorial, and today I'm going to quickly take you through a seated forward fold. So in a lot of our yoga flows, there's not often a lot of time to go through like all the key pointers. So I thought I'd do this tutorial in a little bit more detail so you know what to kind of look for, even if I don't maybe mention it in one of our flows. So for a forward fold, if you're quite tight in the hamstrings and in the back, you may want to grab yourself a block or 2 blocks and a strap. You can obviously use books or like a belt or something. But if you do feel like treating yourself to some new yoga props, I have a 10% discount code at Ecotech Yoga, and they do some amazing sustainable yoga gear. Let's get into it. Right, so a seated forward fold. We're going to do a narrow leg seated forward fold. So for this one, start with your legs out in front of you and then just notice what happens to your pelvis and your back. So for some of us, sitting up on both sitting bones with a nice straight spine, like this, hopefully like this, is quite challenging. Sometimes we might find that we can't quite get forwards. We sit on the back of our pelvis, kind of like I am demonstrating. If that happens, do not panic. Either grab 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, whatever you need, and sit up on it. Now, you don't just want to like sit yourself on it and do the same thing, which is what I kind of see a lot in some classes. So once you're on the block, you want to lift up out of your seat and then find a little forward roll of your pelvis. So almost like you're twerking your hips back, lengthening your tailbone back. Now to do that, you might kind of hover off the edge of the block, like you're almost going to fall off the top of it. Does that make sense? You can actually get some triangle shaped blocks actually. I will link them specifically down below, which will help give you that forward tilt of your pelvis. So this is the kind of shape we want to be in. Lovely. With your legs, totally up to you whether you bring your feet together or maybe hip width, maybe even wider. Now feet together for a lot of us creates kind of locking in the hip area. So maybe start with your feet hip width, flex your feet back toward you. That is so important. You want to engage this side of your leg so this side can relax and lengthen. That's what we're going for. Perfect. Once you are here, your legs are engaged. You're going to do, give me 2 thumbs up, and then place your thumbs into your hip creases, like your hip flexors. Lovely. From here, you're going to roll the flesh outwards. So often I find that this kind of padded bit of my thigh holds me back a little. So you just want to make space through the joint. So grab your thumbs, rolling outwards. So it's that outward roll. So as you come forward, suck your tummy in, engage the core. Again, we want to engage this whole front side. Pull the belly in, thumbs out to the side as you come forwards. Now just focus on this first bit. Don't worry about what the head and the shoulders are doing at this point. You want to find length through that lower back, and this is going to help you. Perfect. Now we want to keep our back nice and straight. So for some of us, we stay here, we hold our knees. You might be able to grab your toes, but if you start to do this, we're not really kind of established. That's a different pose. It's not bad, it's just a different pose. So pull in the belly, keep your back nice and straight, squeeze shoulder blades together. Cool, so you can either have your hands here, or maybe this is where we get the strap involved. You want to bring the strap around the ball of your foot, little bit of bicep strength, pulling your chest towards your toes. Nice, so you might actually find that your forward fold is a little bit more, less exaggerated, shall we say, than what you usually do, and that's fine. So let's go through the pointers once we're in it. So the feet are flexed and engaged, very, very important. Lift your kneecaps, engage those quads. Now lift your pelvic floor, your Mula Bandha, and draw your Uddiyana Bandha, so your belly button in and up. So that's going to encourage length through the chest as well. Good, shoulders are relaxed. Face is relaxed. I find that quite a key point. Often you find people screwing up their face, like holding on for dear life, like, no. Relax your facial muscles. Lovely, draw the belly in, and maybe with the breath, we find more space. So inhale, lengthen through the waist. You want to think about your rib cage lifting up from the pelvis. And then as you exhale, you might be able to find a millimetre, maybe not even, to travel forwards. Good, and then this is your forward fold. So quite a lot to think about. Have a little trial yourself at home with the blocks, with the straps, with the thumb thing. If you have any questions at all, if you feel like I've missed something out, please do let me know in the comments below and I will reply to every single one of you. As always with these tutorials, if you want to send me a picture on Instagram of your form, if you're not quite sure if you're doing it right or you just want a little bit of a pointer, please send me your pictures on Instagram and I shall get back to you. Thank you so much for joining me for another yoga practice. I hope you're enjoying this yoga every day. I'm absolutely loving it, as I always say. So thank you for joining me and I'll see you tomorrow.